All right. Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, I feel like we should jump on into today's topic that is going to be for the 15th of April. All right, let's see what we've got. Also, I just realized that I forgot to pull a card in today's topic. For at the end of these, I like to do like a little birthday card pull specific, and I didn't do one for the 14th. So at the end of this, I'll do one for the 14th and the 15th. But right now, this is just the generalized message for the 15th. We've got a Queen of Pentacles, and we have got the Three of Pentacles. Somebody wants to get with a Queen of Pentacles who has been very closed off. Okay. And she's still very closed off, right? She's like this seed pod that has gone into hibernation mode. And if somebody is reaching out to her on the 15th, she will respond or she will listen, right? She opens up the little windows and there's her face, but we don't see any of the rest of her. She's still very, very, very guarded. She is not giving at all. Whomever this is, they want to step in under the umbrella of, like, they have to come into her world somehow. They have to step into her world, step under her umbrella, whatever that may mean. Whomever is doing this, whomever is reaching out to her, it could be, Death card. I was going to say it could be someone who feels really like their higher self has told them this, or like something about like Thoth, the god of all wisdom and knowledge from the Egyptian pantheon, is like pushing them forward, saying, you need to go talk to her. This would be the most, meaningful thing or most intelligent thing you could do. You need to communicate with her. It is very much Thoth, the god of all wisdom and knowledge, gave humans vocabulary and arithmetic in the Egyptian concept. And so that's why I'm saying somebody knows they need to try to talk to her, not ask her for anything. We have the Death card. This could be a Scorpio. This is somebody who wants to change things. They have been under pressure about this for a long time. Talking to her has been on their mind for so long. I feel like they've rehearsed almost a script of what they need to say to her. I feel like they've worked for a long time to figure out what to say. Now, this person has, it's like they want to describe things to her that she didn't know about them, perhaps. We have like an elder, a family member, and then we also have an alien. I feel like this person has always felt strangely like an outsider, even within their own family. They may want to say, I have an inherited, persona that makes me always feel like an outsider, or I am an outsider, or there's something here about like them wanting to try to describe who they are to her, almost as if she didn't understand some things about them, and they really want to communicate. And that's a change from how they used to be. I don't think they wanted to talk about, it almost feels to me like, I know it's very specific, but this person may think that they have like a problem, and it's like, what, I inherited this from my, my ancestral lineage, and because of that, it's like, if like say they perceive it as like a personality defect, or the way they interpret information is just different than the way other people do, and it always makes them feel kind of like an outsider, and even hard to connect, even in their own family. It's hard for them to connect, and they haven't really said that before, perhaps, and they want to tell this Queen of Pentacles about that. We have a Knight of Swords, we have the Hermit. I really feel like this person feels like they can connect to her better than anyone, but they've never really explained the way they feel about themselves, or their perceptions of what they think is like broken in them, or that they think that they feel a little crazy sometimes. But there is something here about they'd like to stop always insisting that they have to stay alone. Nobody will understand them. They always have to walk through this world alone. They're realizing that out of everybody they've ever met on this earth, this Queen of Pentacles is a person who maybe could accept them exactly as they are. And I think that they know this now. And this is what they would like to be able to say to the Queen of Pentacles. Like, I didn't ever explain to you like where I feel like my awkwardness is, or why I keep to myself. But I feel like this person would literally say something along those lines. I've always kept to myself. I've never like described this to anyone. And I don't even know if this person even has any reason to believe this about themselves whatsoever. I'm almost wondering if it's not more along the lines of, they were maybe not very supported, very loved. They were made to feel like there was something wrong with them. And then that got in their head. And then they perpetuated that their whole life. And then it's made them always want to keep distance from everybody, not let anybody get to know them too well, because then you'll see, there's something wrong with me. And I would just say, something wrong with all of us. Come on. Normal, that's not even a thing. Like, we're all so unique. We're all so different. We're all such a mixture of experiences and everything that, I don't know. It makes my heart hurt for this person who has believed maybe their whole life that they really shouldn't get too close to anybody, because then someone would probably see what's wrong with them. And I just want to tell this person, baby, there's nothing wrong with you. You're your own unique self. We're all our own unique selves. None of us are like, who's to say what's normal or not, like, as long as we're not hurting other people, like, there's such a variety of like unique brains, interesting brains. I mean, if we think about it, like, some of the most beautiful, most intelligent brains were misunderstood. God, wasn't Einstein, didn't he, like, wasn't he told that he wasn't going to be able to like remain in a college because he didn't operate the way they did there, and it's like, come on, he was way smarter, way beyond what they were teaching there anyway, but instead maybe left feeling ostracized or like not belonging. So I'm just using that as an example, because I just feel like this person should not have to feel that way. And maybe that's the way that the Queen of Pentacles is very giving, very accepting, very stable. I could see why, if she kind of operates in that way that I was just describing, like, I don't care. You can be your own unique self. I'm not judging you for that. Just let me get to know who you are, open up to me, or I can't continue to try to open up to you if you don't want to, how am I supposed to get to know you when you won't let me? And I wonder if this is why he's realizing, yeah, maybe I could open up to her, of all people on this earth. I feel like he didn't before, but everything in him is being nudged to do it now. He could be, like I said, a Scorpio or possibly a Virgo. He could also be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but he is suddenly, impulsively, I think, reaching out to her on the 15th and wanting to say some things like, I think maybe I don't have to stay away and on my own all the time after all. We have the Judgment card. Definitely is asking for a do-over. And you know what's wild? I'm wondering if exactly what I was just mouthing off about there a second ago, like, why would anybody feel like, oh, I should probably, not let anybody get too close to me. I should probably just stay alone and aloof. And I'm an outsider or something. I'm wondering if he's maybe realized maybe she's an outsider too. Maybe we're all in our own unique selves. The only struggle is to be comfortable in our own self and say, I don't have to think of myself as an outsider or an insider. Who says it's a group thing? Maybe we're all just unique individuals, cohabitating on this planet, and we're all good enough. Because it almost feels like the mirror has been held up. And there's this element where not only is he starting to feel like more safe around her out of all people on this earth, but also starting to feel like maybe she's had the same outsider's feeling that I have, but maybe she's just more comfortable in it. Maybe that's okay to feel like sometimes we'll say a joke and it won't land. Sometimes we'll, like, brilliant people have been misunderstood throughout history. Great artists, and people have been like, oh, what is that music? That's not music. Or, ooh, what is their art? That's not art. And then they like become super famous. It all depends on what group you're around as to whether or not you feel comfortable or feel like an outsider. But what if the trick is to not give a rat's ass about the group at all and just always do you? Be comfortable around everybody and be comfortable in one's own skin, whether people are going to like give us a stank eye or not. I just feel like there's this radical change going on in this possibly divine masculine who says, I got to talk to this Queen of Pentacles because I'm having this massive breakthrough and I'm realizing maybe I stayed aloof, stayed away from her, thinking no one could possibly accept me. But maybe there's something about, of course I can be accepted. She's unique too, and she feels pretty comfortable. Maybe she wouldn't even judge me for being whoever I am or whatever I am. We have a Six of Pentacles. He definitely feels like out of everybody on earth, he vibes more with her. she and he could actually like be their funky selves and build an ark and sail away together. There's something here about, I actually think I could connect to her, and I think I was wrong in trying to stay away for so long. I want to try this whole opening up thing and not immediately assuming that I'm going to be judged or, told that I don't belong. This was always somebody trying to find the feeling of belonging and never feeling that way. I don't know what made them feel like such an outsider, other than I do think it had to do with family. It's something about family. I mean, if somebody was just like highly ridiculed their whole life within a family, even if the family thinks it was just like good natured or something like that. Oh, you're a weirdo, just like, your grandpa or whatever, oh yeah, they didn't, you have the same traits as your grandpa, um, you know, your grandpa couldn't spell very good either. And so, yeah, that's you too. You've inherited the same problem, like maybe that's the way sometimes those off the cuff remarks can really get in somebody's head and make them feel like, oh man, I guess there's something really wrong with me. I mean, I'm just giving examples of how this person might have formed this idea in their head that there's something not balanced and they wouldn't be accepted because of them being like different than everybody else. I just think this person is probably like, again, probably more interesting. They could be also incredibly intelligent. They could be somebody that unfortunately was just not ever made to feel like who they were was precious and beautiful. And they carried that with them their whole life. And they're finally shaking some of that off, saying, maybe I am able to be accepted. Oh my God. Again, my heart hurts for this person, but I'm so cheering for them right now. Tell me about the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles felt rejected by them. Queen of Cups in the reverse. Felt like they were unloved. Felt like, and that's such a great example. When one person says, I don't think I'm lovable, even if I love you, even if you love me, I'm going to have to stay away from you. I have to reject you because you don't get it. Like there's something that I'm an outsider. There's no way that you could really consistently love me. Think of what that does to the other person. And especially she was already somebody who was a bit of an outsider and now she's getting rejected. That really hurts. It just feels like she was rejected by them in this story. But let's see. We have a 9 of Wands. She tends to be somebody who, if not rebounds, she's, as a wounded warrior card, the Queen of Pentacles, yes, she did go ahead and shut down from them because she was rejected by them at some point. She hasn't forgotten that, but she doesn't build her whole life around her rejections. She goes ahead and says, okay, well, I guess those individuals, because she's probably been rejected more than once. We got 3 elephants here on real spindly little legs. So we know that there's been this space of time where she's been like, oh, I've been rejected before. I'm kind of used to that. It always hurts a little, but you carry on anyway. She doesn't really think that there's anything like wrong with her, but she's learned how to, deal with the fact that things hurt and then just continue. Yeah, Strength card. She builds upon the hurts and pains that she's had. I will say she remembers them better than almost anyone. That was a real painful one. And yet she's gone ahead and grown beyond it and maybe grown more because of it. It's like when she got rejected by them, she might have intentionally like said, okay, I definitely want to blossom even more. I have to have the courage to carry on because this one really, really, really hurt. And I think that's maybe they didn't realize that. Maybe they didn't realize how much they would have hurt her. Everybody can feel awkward or unseen or just like an absolute outsider. I'm sorry, I'm chuckling because I have a story my brother told me about himself. and oh my gosh, like I'm an introvert. Really, most of the people in my family, I think deep down really are. And my brother told me a story about him, like saying, I just wanted to go someplace and I just wanted to be normal. And I didn't want anybody to like remember me. I just wanted to like walk in and walk back out and just kind of be invisible. And unfortunately, when he went up to the counter to pay for his items, he dropped a coin and bent down to get it and stood up and he whacked his head so hard on the counter that it actually like detached and bounced the counter. And he was like seeing stars, and everybody in the place now turns and stares at him. And they're like, wow, you hit your head? Did you hit your head? And he said, nope. Because he was like, just act normal, act like it didn't happen. Nobody will, maybe they won't think that it happened. And he said, and after that, everybody remembered him for the rest of his life. And it was like, sometimes when we try so hard to be invisible, first off, sometimes it backfires. But secondly, like, why are we trying to be invisible anyway? But him trying to say, nope, I didn't just break the countertop and almost knock myself out. And I don't know, that it just cracks me up so much because the way he told the story. But I'm just pointing out that we all have moments where we're like, I just wish I could, be invisible, because like, shy people, introverted people, like that's a struggle that we go through in our daily lives, and trying to overcome that shyness. I just wonder if most people walk around feeling that way. I mean, I'm an introvert. Nobody ever believes that because I try really hard not to be, but I feel like this is one of those stories that addresses that. The fact that maybe everybody feels like rejected sometimes, that's really hard, and everybody feels unseen, or like they want to even stay just like, I just want to hide and not be so visible. And then we go, well, it's impossible to be invisible, so maybe the goal in life is to get more comfortable just being who we are, even though that comfort zone, I think, is a sliding scale, because we already saw a Queen of Pentacles who she's closed off quite a lot, but she still is a queen who's trying to be giving, but getting rejected was incredibly painful. But she's resilient. She's mostly recovered from it, but she used it as a launch pad to try to actually maybe alter herself and become a little bit more, outgoing, a little bit more visible, is what it seems like. Anyway, I'm sorry to tell a personal story there. I just think that was relevant only because I wonder if most of the world walks around sometimes wishing that, we could either like go unnoticed. And really, why should we want to go unnoticed? I mean, really, logically, why should we want to go unnoticed? Why don't we just feel more comfortable? We all have a right to be here. We all have worth. We all have a place in this world. And if only we could just be more comfortable, more relaxed, like at all times, and maybe less either self-conscious or, rejection will always hurt, of course, but maybe there's really nothing wrong with any of us. That's what this feels like. I really like this message, after all, because I feel like it's very much, we're working with that delicate, like, inhibition that maybe all characters feel. I think this is going to have a really happy outcome. We have a 9 of Cups. We do have, a story of a character who's coming forward to want to try to like convey, maybe I don't have to stay away from everybody my whole life after all. Maybe I could open up to you after all. I almost feel like her response is going to be, that makes me so happy to hear. I don't see this as rejection. I don't see this as, well, screw you. You hurt me once. Forget that. If anything, I feel like maybe these two are going to be able to have their own funky love story, their own accepting of whatever their love looks like. No two people have the same love story. No two people have the same lifestyle together. No two people are the same. Their love story could be really amazing, and whatever their quirks or, idiosyncrasies or whatever it means for them, as long as they love each other, they'll find a way to make this work. That's what this feels like. That's amazing. That's just beautiful. All right, let me jump into a quick birthday card pull for someone whose birthday is on the 14th. Let me pull a card there first. We have a 6 of Swords. For a birthday on the 14th, we could have somebody who is moving into calmer waters with a romantic partner, somebody who wants them in their sidecar, or they want this person, to ride sidecar with them. We've got 2 people that really want to work on a relationship. This could be business partners. It doesn't have to be lovers, but we definitely see the desire to collaborate is there for everybody involved. And now let's also get a message for a birthday on the 15th. We have got Wheel of Fortune, great turn of events, good fortune coming in, much more harmony, a new doorway that might be opening up. Ooh, more than one new doorway. A character's probably going to have to make a decision. So they're going to have to start listening closely to their critical thinking. We've got little guides on either side, trying to help out what I would say when I see cards like this, it always makes me think, if we have to make a choice between awesome things, maybe it's not, do I do A or B? It's in what order do I do A and B? Maybe since we have two guides, it says, I want both. Why do I have to pick one? Why don't I just schedule them at different times? And I think that might be the way through this. And that might be just the way this character lives their life now. When they find amazing things, they don't let go of anything. They just stagger it so they can get it all. All right, I'm going to leave those there. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.